What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Artistic Genius, and we are back with another Say Word Wednesday's Couch Conversations, episode 5, with Kate the Great, KTG in the house. What's up? So briefly, just tell the people like who you are real quick, and then we're gonna get into some questions. Okay. We just gonna talk about the personal and the poetry, get to know you a little bit more outside of the mic.
I love
that. Okay. So let's do it.
I am Kate the Great, Kate the Conqueror. I am a writer. I am a YouTube content creator. I do everything besides behind the camera and in front of the camera. I love art all around. I even paint a little. Sometimes I draw, just for fun. So that's me.
Painting? Yes. It's a creative all around. Yes. We love that. Yes. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get personal. So how long have you been doing poetry?
Oh my gosh, probably since I was in 7th grade.
7th grade?
Yes.
So that's some time ago.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I always wrote things and I'm like, oh, this enlightens with me. And I don't know, it was a confidence thing, I think this year and last year, especially with them being in Say Word, has built my confidence of performing more. So I loved it here.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did the writing come about? Did you kind of just start off journaling, or was it you just went straight into poetry?
Journaling, for sure. I feel these emotions, I'm gonna write them. And then as I got into high school, teachers would be like, "You're an amazing writer, Katie." And I'm like, "You're capping. You're just telling me things because I don't know. I've always been the oldest, and I'm not gonna hold you. Sometimes my parents would feed my ego. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, you guys are just saying these things you're capping. But overall, when I came to college, people are like, "No, you're an amazing writer." I'm like, "Oh shit," And so I had to find that within my own self too, not I guess living off of others' compliments,
Mm-hmm.
So most definitely finding that even to this day, sometimes I'd be like, "Oh, if I like this, that's all that matters. I don't care." Yeah.
No, but that's a beautiful thing that your parents did, instill that in you, that confidence that you could do whatever that you want to do. And so, because a lot of people don't get that growing up.
No, literally, you get stripped out of whom you're supposed to be and who you are, So I most definitely appreciate that for them,
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So, if you could write a poem to your younger self, what would you title it? Get to the nitty gritty.
It doesn't hurt anymore.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because I feel I was living in so much pain sometimes, and now I know that it doesn't hurt anymore.
So, you talked about your journey. You started writing poetry in 7th grade. So, who were some of the poets or artists that inspired you?
I think being in high school, I really don't remember any particular poets or anyone who inspired me, but being in high school, having to read books, and then teachers bringing having those classes where we have to implement creative writing and having them present these things hey, you can do more with writing, outside of just essays and choir writing and things like that. So I could say, I guess my educators inspired me.
Yeah.
And then when I got into college, I started being around poets and poets collectives and things like that. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Underdog Academy or something like that. Yeah, so that's basically a Dayton Columbus collective, and I was around them a lot, and I was like, wow, I could do all these things with my words, and they really inspire me. So yeah.
And what college did you go to?
I went to Central State.
Yeah,
so it's a historical black college, not 3 hours. It's an hour from here because we're in Columbus. Yeah. It's 3 hours from Cleveland. So yeah, I went there for 4 years, and I loved it there.
And what'd you study?
Broadcast media.
Yeah. So you just destined.
Yeah, you can literally do anything with that. You could be. At first, I wanted to be a news anchor. Then COVID hit, and it was that's not my passion anymore. Yeah. Then I started. I don't know. Start writing. Everything else just kind of unraveled in its own. So.
Yeah, so you can see yourself on the opposite end of the couch interviewing people.
Yes.
We're trying to get you for an interview. Swap.
No, for sure. I would love that.
Yeah, so what does, you share a lot of pieces at Say Word, which we truly appreciate you for all your help. Just all of your, just vibrant energy that you bring to us every single month. Love it. So what do you feel like your process is when it comes to writing? I know sometimes you write a lot down. Sometimes you do it like off the dome. So like, what does that process look like for you?
I like making prompts for myself, or sometimes even just seeing others perform and like seeing like films or just living life or experience, especially when I feel heartily and deeply for something. I'm like, oh, this is turning into a poem. You know, that's why they say don't make an artist mad because you're going to turn into a poem.
Period.
Yeah. So
I have made many.
No, literally. I'm married and I make sneak disses all the time. And then when we're friends again, I'm like, hey, you want to hear a poem I wrote about you?
Right. Y'all probably go back and forth too.
No,
He's a writer too.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Yeah, that's dope though. So how do you like want your art to be perceived by people? Like, what do you want people to actually gain from seeing your art, hearing your poetry? Like, what would you like people to take from that?
That's a good question. First and foremost, I try to put my foundation of everything onto God. So maybe like knowing that He's real and He's loving and He's merciful, and then also just knowing that anything you can do, you can do. Like anything you put your mind into, you can do.
Yeah.
You know, so just as I'm up here performing, like you can do it too. Because I get told a lot, like, oh, that's so cool that you do. I'm like, oh, little do you know that like I was super nervous.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that's a lot for me, you know.
Yeah.
But it's exciting, it's so exhilarating.
Yes,
you know?
it is.
Yes,
Yeah, I think every time it's like you get those nerves. Like, well, some people don't get nervous, but I feel like I get nervous because I want the intention behind it to be like to reach and impact somebody else. So I'm always like holding that at the forefront. Like I want how I present this to be healing and impactful to somebody else. So I never want to get on stage and be like, yeah, I want to go and kill it. But I don't want to ever be like boastful in the gift. I want to have humility, but at the same time, I want to have confidence too and go out and show people that, you know, so I get that 100%. Yeah.
Healing through words.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where Unbroken comes from.
Unbroken. Let's talk about Unbroken. Where did Unbroken come from?
Unbroken comes from my own biased personal livelihood, just healing through writing. And I'm like, I know this is a therapeutic tool that I can use. And sometimes we get caught up in like what the system gives us as therapy. Like, yes, you could talk to a counselor, that's very healing, but you have nature, you could go hiking, and then there's mine writing. And so I'm like, if I know this is helpful for me, I know this is going to be helpful for somebody else. And then I'm like, we're going to have virtual meetings. And so that's where it's at right now. And then last month was exciting because I got to be able to be like, oh, it's National Poetry Month. So let's share poets and their art medium and whatnot. And that was really amazing.
Yeah.
So like, I just love Unbroken, and I'm allowing God to take care of it, because I can't try to force things onto Unbroken, you know, like how we were just saying, or anything happening organically.
Has that line.
So yeah. Just letting it flow.
Yeah. So you would like, would you ever like to do like writing retreats and like
so cool.
Yeah.
Yes, things like that.
Yeah, like I can see you doing it like, you know, this like very nature like environment.
Yes.
Like, I actually seen these women and these Black women in Atlanta. I have to get the name for you, but they do this wellness retreat, and it's like they do like writing and things like that. I just feel like something like that would be like perfect
that
for.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Most definitely want to do a in-person meetup soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what type of place would you do it at? Would you feel like you want to do it in?
Man, nature for sure. Or something even like this. Like there's so many, since we're in Columbus, it's such a big city and there's so many opportunities. So something that will fit the vibe, you know? And then like also the weather's breaking, so there is so many nature and there's so much stuff. So yeah, anywhere is possible. I wish we had beaches here. We could do it at the beach.
Yeah. I mean, we got some dirty water.
That's Ohio all around.
I know.
Like even in Cleveland, we got a beach. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, not nowhere. I'm not playing.
Yeah. I wish we had springs too. I can see it being in the area where there's like the springs too.
Yes.
But yeah.
No, for sure.
The opportunities are endless. I think that whatever you would like to do, you know, people are gonna support you because you're you're that kind of person that supports everybody and you make people feel good about themselves.
Thank you. Yeah,
you got my support. Whatever you need from me, you just let me know. For real. I'm serious.
That makes my heart happy.
Yeah. I love you, Kate.
I love you.
Listen. All right, wait, we're going to get into that later. Okay, so what are some goals that you have, like, outside of Unbroken? Like, we talked about that. Like, what are some goals you have, like, with poetry, and, like, how far do you want to take it?
My goal is to be a better performer. I feel like I said, like, just being more experienced within performing, especially with having, like, not Unbroken, Say Word, like, you know, and so, like, being here, you being opening and you being, like, intentionally heartfelt and seeing that behind the scenes and being in front of, like, okay, this is how it all happens. Like, I want to be a better performer. Like, I know I could do better, you know? And books. Yeah, I love to write. And it's like, I got so many gems within, like, content creating with all these notebooks I have stacked up. Like, we didn't move so much. And I still keep my notebooks. Like, I may have lost my wardrobe, but I still got some notebooks.
So you're going to publish some of that?
Yes, it needs to be heard. Because words are healing,
you
know? And so some books and a better performance and just,
So have you written a book yet?
No.
Listen.
Procrastinating. Yeah. Everything's just, like, stacked up in my Google Docs. Like, this is the book. And now it's like, okay, so where do I go next? Like, you know, trying to find where the compass is facing me.
Sometimes it's not always procrastination either. Sometimes I've felt like that. But there's also, like, a phase that I feel like as a writer that you go through when you want to write a book, like, where that work has to marinate and that time has to come to pass. Because I think that I've stacked up work, you know, for years. And I'm like, okay, I know this is meant to be a book, but it's just not time. Like, and it's like, I can't bring myself to finish it. I can't bring myself to actually write the rest of the words because I know it's just not the time.
No, for sure.
So, I mean, I think I sat on the book for like 7 years.
Wow.
Before I actually, like, went to write it all and publish it.
Wow.
So, don't be so hard on yourself, because sometimes it's just like, it's that timing of, like, okay, you know, when it's necessary and when you are still, like, developing and, like, you know, whatever God is trying to get you to see, you know, with that vision. So,
I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it kind of reminds me of, I'm a big analogy person, so it kind of reminds me of, like, a woman carrying a baby. And you're trying to have a baby at 6 months and he not ready, then you can't force that. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's a word.
Oh my God.
That book gonna happen. You gonna have if you got all them notebooks, multiple books, volume 1, 2, 2, 3. Listen, for real.
Wow.
So I'm excited to read it. You know, I already know it's gonna be amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's talk about some obstacles, some personal obstacles you feel like you face, or whatever you would like to share as an artist, like, along the journey that you felt like has been like this, you know, this block just in the road.
Knowing my potential and not trying to do comparison and contraction, and just because somebody's in the same lane as me doesn't mean that opportunity is gone. So outside of, yes, I got that support as a child, I also got, like, me being the oldest child and my dad being very competitive, and he put that spirit within me. And I'm just trying to flee from it. I'm trying to flee from it because that's not of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you could do better than that. And so, like, sometimes I hear myself, like, talking to myself like how my dad talked to myself. I love you, Pops, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially when I used to run track too. It's like, oh, you see that person? He'll rave on and on after the track. And I'm like, Dad,
and
like,
now you feel like you gotta outrun them.
Yes. Like, literally outrun them. Like, even coming to the day when it comes to the whole art thing, I'm like, okay, like, nobody's your competition. You're not my enemy, you know. Even when I do have so-called, like, enemies or not getting along with people, it's just principalities and demons. Like,
hello.
It's not of them.
Hello.
You know, they just misunderstood. That's all.
Yeah, I think they misunderstood, and it's also like, you know, I think that within, like, and I don't want to just say the Black community, but from what I've learned with Columbus is that there isn't a whole lot of, like, work together, collab, but there's more so like, well, this person is doing that, and I I don't know if I want to go to that no more. I'm gonna stop going to that because I feel this type of way, and it's like, you know, a lot of things are being taken personally, and it's just like, if we just have a conversation on how we can bring this together, it don't gotta be all of that. It is not a competition. I think that I don't want to say I'm not a competitive person because I played sports in high school, but I've never been competitive to the point where I had a hard time losing. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't quit, but I also don't have a hard time losing. If it's my loss for that season, it's my loss. But, you know, I'm very much like, I would like to collaborate with people, but a lot of people don't do that because they don't like your light. They don't want your light to overshine theirs, when it's like we can share that light together. But so it's a personal, like you said, it's a personal thing that people be dealing with, like insecurities or whatever, that, you know, they haven't quite figured out yet, I think, you know, and that comes with knowing yourself, because it's like, if you got something and I got something, then, you know, I can't take what you got, you can't take what I got. So,
we could put macaroni and yams together. It's fine. Those analogies.
So I mean, it can be tough sometimes. You know, I think I faced that, like even with doing say word, but I think I always come back to like, I'm not here for the look of it. I'm here. You know, the aesthetics are nice. This is a beautiful space, but I'm here for the impact of people. Like how can a community feel? Like how are you gonna feel when you leave here? You know, so I put that heavy burden on myself sometimes, and I think that we all do it as artists who have the right heart. So
I needed that. Oh my goodness. This is the healing conversation.
I don't know. I think it is. And I just see so much in you. I really truly do. And I can be very particular with who I connect myself with. And that can be personal trauma, whatever. But, you know, those who I do connect with, you know, I really hold a personal, connection with. So, I feel like you're one of those people for sure.
Oh my gosh, thank you. No, that means a lot, especially as I'm, embarking a journey in my life. I want to take everybody along with me, but it's dead weight, and it's an anchor, and I can't do that.
You can't. It hurts.
It's so unhealthy.
Don't hurt.
It hurts so bad because I love them.
And
then each time I'm around them, guys listen, you see how you leave when you leave them, you feeling extra
anxiety,
heavy.
Your spirit is disturbed. Listen,
come on.
That is the sign. You know, when you start to feel like, why do I have anxiety? I was cool. I meditated today. I felt
right.
Why do I? Sometimes,
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes it's the energy that's around you that's affecting, and it's like a sign from God. Like, okay, you might want to pivot a little bit. So I trust that. I try to listen to that all the time.
No, literally. So, really particular. It's real specific.
So I'm excited for your upcoming journey and everything that you have going on. And do you want to talk about any other experiences that you've had, because you are married? How does that work in creative space with two poets, artists? That do y'all ever come together and do things like here's my work, read this? What does that look like?
Basically, I've seen him go through artistry because he also does rapping sometimes too. And so within him performing all the time, especially in his city, and then coming here, I'm like, can you help me with that area? So sometimes my weak areas be his stronghold, and then vice versa, you know what I'm saying? And so a long time ago, I've been telling him hey, we need to come together and do something. I don't know if you remember, what's the brother name? The one that always comes from Dayton, and he featured here. Why can't I remember him? This
from Dayton?
Yahawashai.
Yeah, he's from Dayton? I didn't know he was in Dayton.
Well, he's not from Dayton, but he's from here. You know, him and his wife lived there. And
gotcha.
So within that, we had visited and hung out there a weekend, and I was telling him, I'm like, you see them? They collabing and doing stuff. I want to be Janae Echo Big Sean. I'm going to stop playing with me, you know what I'm saying? And there was even a time where Just Cuz and Morgan, they did a collab project, and I was like, they not even together, but they was able to mix that up and put it to the public. And then the last one, Kendrick with the fuck your bitch, that one, I was like, even if it's untrue or true, we could put our shit out here in a platform. It ain't nobody business, you know what I'm saying? It could be true and it can
be not true, right?
You know
That's the beauty of art.
And so he finally is feeling inspired enough and not caring what others think, then we could do that. Yeah. So there's stuff like that that's blossoming, it's birthing, we plant the seed. So you know what I'm saying? So just waiting for that to come to fruition.
Yeah.
You know, but it's exciting. It's most definitely exciting because I'm like, hey, I'm not really ready to share this to public. What you think about this? What you think about that? And he's so supportive, and I am vice versa. Like, even when sometimes it was just me and him and I'm broken, I'm like, I'm in the other room, he's in the other room, and I'm like, okay, so we're gonna do this prom, and
I love that.
Yeah. So just marrying the artist is the best thing you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, super supportive, super like understanding, and just like plotting seeds in me and I'm plotting seeds in him.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he said a word, and you're like, ooh, that'd be a dope poem.
Yes. No, literally.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Y'all fire.
Oh,
Listen. All right, this is my last question. If you could say a word to an aspiring poet or artist, what would that be? And you can speak life into the camera, or you can... Yeah, let's hear it.
So, to an aspiring artist or poet, do it and don't be afraid and just do it. The best thing you could do is planting that seed and walk out on faith. It don't matter what it look like, as long as you like it, just do it. You know what I'm saying? And do it intentionally, do it with humility, and do it confidently, you know? And don't do it for attention. Clout sucks. Yeah, that's it.
Listen, well, that was Kate the Great with Couch Conversations, episode 5. Listen, follow us at Say Word Wednesdays. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at Say Word Wednesdays. And where can they follow you at?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram with _beautiful_Kate. That's my Instagram.
What about Unbroken?
Unbroken is BROK Ness. There we go.
Make sure y'all follow her, y'all. All right, tune in for the next episode. We out.